Hi, it's Kim from Expressions of the Universe with your weekly wisdom for March 20th through the 27th. I'm adding that extra day because it's the first day of spring. Yes, finally, here in the Northern Hemisphere. It's the first day of autumn in the Southern Hemisphere, so that'll still be a beautiful time. We also have International Astrologers Day, Ostera, which is, the beginning of spring, and the sun moved into Aries. So what else? What else was it? I know it was a day chock full of brand new. Oh, the equinox. Yes, equal day, equal night. And that will carry for 3 days, equal day, equal night, as the earth is balancing herself out. Gaia, last week's goddess card. Speaking of goddess cards, I was hoping that when I did my random pick of the power goddesses, because as most of you know, I am representing one goddess per week this year of 2021 to tell different stories of them. Because, their stories have been twisted and it's kind of like whisper down the lane and they get diluted through the centuries. So bringing back their power, since we are coming into a more matriarchal power once again, that cycle is returning. And like I've said before, has nothing to do with men bashing or anything like that. It's just to put women in the spotlight, a little back into the spotlight, because women used to rule our civilizations. They used to be the ones in power until fear took that away from the patriarchal system. And also because I've been exploring asteroid goddesses from Demetra George. Many of you know, if you've gotten a reading from me, I do include a lot of the asteroids in my readings. And I just wanted to know more about them, more about their stories, so that I can intuitively pick up what they're representing in the charts. So, this is what I'm using. It's Asteroid Goddesses by Demetra George. And she points out the four majors that I've been using for years, which is Pallas Athena, Ceres, which is also known as Demeter, Vesta, who is goddess of hearth and home, and then Juno, who was Jupiter's wife. Their stories have been told in a sense to make us fearful of their transits, to make us fearful of their energy, and that's really not the case. Speaking of asteroid goddesses, I am about a little more than halfway through my Pallas Athena project, where I thought it was 16, but 17 of you volunteered for me to analyze your chart with Pallas Athena coming out of Aquarius, which is typically her home base sign, and moving into Pisces. What does this mean? How does it show up in our charts? And I'll show you how you can find her in your charts. It's taking me a little bit longer because, life is busy. And great segue to upcoming events in my life. My daughter is getting married in almost 30 days. So I think maybe it's like 31 days from today. So I will be very, very busy trying to get house ready. We have another fitting this coming week. Everything is getting planned, meeting with the venue and the DJ and the caterers and the florists, and like to finalize everything. I'm contemplating a break. I had a Reiki session yesterday. You know that I'm all into holistic healing. I've been doing a lot of tuning fork work, which is amazing. Tuning forks relax the muscles, they heal the nerves, they heal bone, so I've had some injuries lately. They also clear our aura. This particular one is 4,096 hertz. It comes in the tone of C note. I don't know if you can hear that. It clears the air. It's great for crystal clearing. And then I have some other very large ones. This is a smaller of my weighted. This particular one is 136. It's an ohm. This is the ohm tuning fork, which completely brings a sense of wellness over the body. You can put it on your head. You can put it, I love it on the back of my spine. You can feel the whole thing vibrating through your body wherever you put it. So I love working with these tuning forks to keep me in alignment, clear my aura. But what was I getting to? Oh, so I had a Reiki session yesterday, and my guides coming through, the Reiki practitioner said, I need to let some things go. Particularly letting go of expressions of the universe for a minute, so that I can take care of all the things that are going on in my life, because I'm wearing myself down trying to fit everything in. So I will be taking a little bit of a break most of the month of April and May, just because of all the things that are going on. And my daughter and I had to cancel a vacation several times last year. It was supposed to be our final mother-daughter vacation that we were going to go on prior to the wedding, prior to, all of the activities of the wedding. And we had to cancel it, because of the pandemic. And we've rescheduled it. And we're going the week after she returns, I think the week after she returns from her honeymoon. So that'll take me up to almost the third week of May. Now, we do have some eclipses that are going to be coming up in that time frame, like at the end of May and second week of June. Big, huge eclipse season is coming. So I will be around for that. Of course, full moon is coming up next Sunday, which would be, what is that? And I don't have my glasses, so I can't see. March 28th, we have a full moon in Libra that is coming up. I think it's in Libra, is it? Yes, full moon in Libra. All right, I just wanted to make sure I had that right. So I will be talking about that. I just need to be sensible. So I will be posting less on Facebook and Instagram due to the need to take care of my stuff. All right, so let's get back to, I was hoping when I pulled the goddess card for the week that Ostara would come up, because March 20th marks the beginning of Ostara. And her presence runs from the first day of the equinox through Beltane. And that would be the vernal equinox in the Northern Hemisphere, Beltane being May Day, the first day of May. And she speaks of new beginnings. However, she did not come up. And I have to stick to my integrity and what my guides came up with. So while I was shuffling the deck, the goddess that is on the cover of this Goddess Power deck, Ceridwen, that is who came up for this week. And she speaks about potential. I was reading into her story, and it's a little gruesome. She was a sorceress who had one very ugly child and one very beautiful child. And I guess that's subjective, right? But she was concocting in her cauldron a way to make her son, who was the hideous child, into something beautiful. And I have to continue reading a little bit more about her, but in her accomplishments of the potential that she saw in this child who was shunned from the world because of the way he looked, that's why she wanted to change his outer appearance, because people were not seeing his potential of who he truly was because of the way he looked. And I think with what's going on in society, has been for hundreds of years, racism and hatred of the other. I think that this is part of the reason why Ceridwen came out. And that's just coming to me now. I didn't even think about that because I've been contemplating her for several days as to, okay, well, why is she coming out? Bailey Marie. It's a beautiful day outside, and so obviously there are people walking their dogs and riding their bikes, but I really think she's coming forth to speak to us about how we judge what we see on the outside of people without knowing them, and the potential that we could be missing out on. But in this book, so this was written several years ago, Ceridwen, Colette Baron Reed, spoke about Ceridwen as what we will envision is what shows up. And even before I read this earlier today, preparing for this video, I had written down a couple of my weekly wisdoms. Yeah, this is from my new cloth. And I wrote that we have lost sight of our souls. That's what's going on in the world. That's what all this craziness is. And that spiritual law, which is our energetic, the energy that we're putting out into the world, our thoughts, our words, that spiritual law manifests or is the same as physical law. So the energy you're putting out into the world, your thoughts, your words, your actions will manifest as physical law in our lives. And I think that is why there is so much chaos on the earth, is because so many of us have lost sight of our souls, have lost sight of who we are at the core of who we are. You know, and in that, a lot of us have lost our kindness and our compassion and acceptance. So I really feel that that's what we have to get back to. You know, having a conversation with a friend of mine, trying to figure out what's happening with all of this hate that's going on, you know, amongst other races and amongst other people. You know, it is in our DNA. I've said it before. It's in our DNA to be fearful of anything that doesn't look like ourselves. It's part of our survival instinct. It's even in animals. I witnessed it yesterday with my dogs. My neighbor, you know, had their dog out, and he looks so different than my dogs, and they take that as a threat because of his size and the way he looks. So even animals do that. Most will run away in fear. You know, wild animals will run away in fear of humans because they don't know. They don't know what could happen. But the larger animals, like say a grizzly bear, will come and attack us, you, because of the potential threat. You don't even want to find out what the threat could be. And that's what I think also is happening in the world. So we really have to have some big conversations and get to know people. And I think also too, mental health issues are not being addressed. I think we need funding in this world everywhere for mental health wellness, beyond a prescription that will numb and bring down mental health issues. I know that's not the right words, but there are a lot of people out there that don't have access to healthcare or don't have the wherewithal to know that maybe they need help. And then those on the outside that can see that someone maybe needs help, what are the resources? We don't have the resources. And with the population continuing to grow on a daily basis and life expectancy growing all of the time, the world is just becoming, extremely overpopulated, and the resources are limited, and then the problems are exacerbated. So I don't know what the answer is for it. I mainly just deal with stars and spirits on the other side. But if you don't think that I'm not feeling all of that energy, and that's part of the reason why I think I'm a hermit, because I'm protected and safe in my little bubble, but I still pick up energy from social media, from, surrounding. It's like, radio waves. It comes in through radio waves. And even though I really am limited on what I watch on television, mostly sticking to, I'm loving Discovery Plus streaming. A lot of paranormal shows, cooking shows, home shows. So I stick to that stuff. I still can feel the collective energy that comes through. Anyway, Ceridwen, just to touch a little bit more on her, it speaks about how our thoughts, our energy creates our physical reality. Very much what I just said, what I wrote down days and days and days ago. And so it says everything you need is coming together right now. So think about this. It's about potential. As if your life's reflection were shining brightly in a golden liquid in Ceridwen's magical transformative cauldron. Imagine greatness and there will be greatness. So whatever you think about, however you're feeling, that is what you're creating. So imagine greatness, there will be greatness. Envision peace and there will be peace. Choose love, choose gratitude, and choose faith in the divine magic that flows through you. And that's what will show up in your life. There are only ingredients needed. They are the only ingredients needed for the goddess Ceridwen to work her transformative magic on your behalf. Regardless of the limitations imposed on your world by fate, culture, and conditioning, your true destiny is, I can't see that, coalescing on your behalf. You can be anything you imagine. Remember this. Dream and trust that everything you need exists to make that dream a reality. This is the promise of the goddess Ceridwen. So I think at this time that any of us watching this video or seeing my post, when I post the detail of this, and I post that on Facebook, Instagram, and in my blog at Expressions of the Universe, let's envision kindness, compassion, inclusivity, equality. Let's envision all of that for all of us and carry that in our hearts instead of hatred, because, what I'm seeing, I know a lot of you are so angry about everything that's going on in the world, especially the recent events in Georgia, just horrific, and dismissed as a bad day We all have bad days. We don't go out and kill people. But let's envision a better world for ourselves, a better tomorrow. But, you know, a lot of us have been uprising to support equality and dispel the hatred, and hatred being a virus. But when you are doing that, you're promoting more of the anger and the hatred. So just be really careful how you're channeling your intentions and your desires, because it shows up in the physical. And it's a time where we need to find our souls again. And so on that note, I'm going to show you the chart, and I want to do a little reading for this upcoming year. The equinox, the first day of spring, it's the beginning of the astronomical new year before the Gregorian calendar changed it to January 1st for tax collection purposes. So also another little fun fact, that because it took so long for news to travel that the new year was changing from the equinox to January 1st, there were a lot of people in other parts of the world and country, or of the world, that got the news very late, maybe a year late. And so there were still people celebrating the new year at the equinox. And when word got around, and, you know, it's a year later and it's April 1st, people still celebrating, because they'll celebrate from the equinox till Beltane during that austere time. They were called April Fools because they didn't know the latest and greatest news that the new year was changed to January 1st. So that's where April Fools comes from. But yeah, I want to do a layout to see like what's the energy, what's the focus for this coming year. And I'm going to show you what the chart is in just a moment. Let me get set up. All righty. I'm going to pull this down a little bit so I can put the cards here. I don't know if you heard the chirping, but it's interesting. Always change the batteries in your smoke detectors and your carbon monoxide detectors on the equinoxes, or, you know, when you change your clocks back. And although mine are hardwired, they also have battery backup in case I lose power, then they'll still work. So I went down and took the battery out of the one that was chirping, and now there's another one chirping. So the timing is perfect because I need to replace all the batteries in all the detectors throughout the house. So I want to I'm going to pull numerous cards from some decks just to give us the energy. So let's try an animal totem card for the year. So this reading is for the energy for the entire year. And it's Hawk Spirit, and it says, let spirit be your guide. And I think that that couldn't be more perfect. And it's funny because I envisioned this card, and you saw that I just pulled it randomly. It's not marked on the back in any way, shape, or form. Random pick. And I think this is good. Follow our intuition. Let spirit be our guide. Let the divine be our guide. And we can't go wrong. We cannot go wrong when spirit is our guide. So I wish I had a little stand that I could put here. Oh, I wonder if I could make something. Hold on, I'll be right back. How about this? Nice piece of selenite to hold up our cards. I posted on Instagram. I got a new divination cloth from Jillian C. Wild, and it comes with little reading layout book. This is what the divination cloth looks like, but it's huge, so I can't even hold it up. I have it over here, but I posted that on Instagram. She was the creator of the Naked Heart Tarot and this cute, adorable Antiquities of Magic deck, which I love. So let's see what her energy comes up with. And I'm going to just pan down so you can see that I'm just randomly picking this one. Oh, fantastic. It is Snake Spirit. And this is, we're shedding old skin. This is also, it really goes good with Palace, that energy of Palace, because she's represented by the owl and the snake. And the snake is that form of divination, connecting and tapping into the divine and our spirit and the visions that we have. But it's also shedding old skin, getting rid of the old, getting rid of what no longer serves us. And that will be a year of doing that. I think that this is a transitional year. It is a 5-year of change. So I think that that's great. I love these cards so far. If any of you have had a reading with me, you know I always start out with an angel card because they let me know exactly what it is that you need before I start the reading. So I'm going to also pick one. Oh, I want two. Okay, so celebration and generosity are theme cards. And it's just asking us to be generous-hearted and also to remember our lives are a celebration. So I think that's fantastic. And I'm not going to put them up there. I'm going to leave these here. But I think that that is wonderful. Now, let's, all right, let's try a crystal card and see if we have some guidance from my Crystal Ally deck. Then I'll get into the full reading with the Crystal Ally card up here. Oh, I love it. Sugar Light, and it's about dreams. And I think this is wonderful because we're paying attention to our dreams. My dreams have been off the chain, like my dreaming dreams. But this is also talking about the dreams that we have for ourselves, for our future. And I think this is a good reminder of that Ceridwen, about, you know, what are you dreaming? Like, hold that in your heart, because that's what you are putting out into the world, your thoughts and your energy. So I love that. I love it. Okay. The smoke detector that I took the battery out is the one that's chirping still. It's driving me a little crazy. I know it's making my dogs really upset too, because they think something is wrong. All right, so let's pan down here, and I'm going to use, well, you know what? I kept these up here long enough. You saw them. You saw them. I think that's okay. All right, I'm going to move that over there. Let's see what the astrological lineup is, and then I'll take you into the chart for the week. See if we have anything major going on. I know that we could be coming up with some confusion over the next couple of days. Venus moves into Aries. Oh, I'm just going to cut these and take from the top. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And the energy is shifting. The sun just moved into Aries. So, you know, we have that. There's a lot of fire energy, and that could bring on some anger, aggressiveness, ego. All right. So we have the third house, messages. This is also communication. This is the media. That's what's coming forth. That seems to be the biggest message right now. Everything third house related. This would be elementary education, our neighborhoods, the people surrounding us, usually siblings, cousins also come up with this. Technology, telecommunications. But I think a lot of this has to do with the mass media and paying attention. I've been saying it for a while that there's still a lot going to be revealed in this coming year of things that could be quite shocking to us. So yeah, that's what's coming up in the forefront. The underlying message. Oh, interesting. Oh no, my computer froze. Here I am, I'm back. I don't know what just happened, but it looked like my computer froze. It keeps wanting to freeze. And I know the lighting isn't great in here because it's so sunny. All right, so the underlying symbol for this year, it is air element, and it's communicating, and that goes so well with Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius, and that big shift from earth to air. And what I just talked about, communications, telecommunications, advancements in technology, and also, you know, what are we hearing? How are we communicating with each other? I think that is all huge part. Now, this position lends to what's done and over with, what we're not going, you know, like we're putting to rest, we're putting to bed. And it's Virgo, I analyze. So let me see. First of all, we're putting to bed that earth, working ourselves to death. We're realigning daily routines, the overanalyzation of everything you're seeing in the media, on social media, overanalyzing what people are saying. I think that is, we need to like really chill out. I think people are just so out of hand. Also, this is playing into it. People are so out of hand with what other people are doing. Pay attention to yourselves. Stop worrying about what other people are doing. Pay attention to your own life. Worry about yourself. Stop, you know, overanalyzing every situation and pulling it apart, and, you know, the whole cancel culture. I mean, I'm obviously some things need to be put to rest, but I just think people they're so bored and have nothing better to do than to be out judging everybody and over criticizing and over righteousness. And it's just, all right. So what is coming? This is the position of what is coming this year that we haven't seen yet. Maybe we've gotten a glimpse of, but this is what we can expect. And oh, I love it. It's Mercury. It's the mind. Mercury is also the ruler of communication and messages and the third house, and also that air element. So this is where our world is going towards. It's that Mercury energy. It's very quick thinking. Yeah, and interesting because you'll see that it shows third house and Holy Osiris. Interesting. I feel that there's like an underworld theme here, but it's also expansion of the mind, expanding our thoughts, expanding the way that we communicate and listen to other people. Let me get my other astrology deck and see what other light can be shed. So this is going to be the big themes of this coming year. And don't forget, this year is from March 20th of 2021 through March 20th of 2022. That's the astrological year that I'm talking about. Although you know, once January comes around, before that equinox period, we are finalizing things up. So I'm just really curious how like this all aligns. And you know what also too, not I have to mention Virgo is ruled by Mercury as well. And so with this being I analyze and this being the mind, you know, I think that we are evolving our way of thinking as well. And maybe it is through telecommunications or, you know, technology. So here I am. Now this fell out of the deck, so I'm going to put this in the middle because I know that this is going to play a big part for all of us. And it's the second house. It's about assets, money, the things that we own, our possessions, the things that we value, whether it's material or non-material. That is going to play a huge theme in this year. We already know that, you know, this last year with the pandemic globally has been devastating economically for so many people. So we're trying to get back on track, you know, with our finances and gaining in assets, gaining in our finances. But I want to point out, those are material things. Before I do this second layout, those are material things. It's more important to think about the things we value that are immaterial. And that's where gratitude obviously comes in. But, you know, things that money cannot buy. Now, tell that to a hungry person, tell that to a homeless person, and, you know, it's all relative. So I get that. But if you're watching this video, you have more than probably 90% of the entire world's population. So think about true value. I did write down another weekly wisdom snippet. I'll bring that up at the end, but it kind of goes with this. All right, let's see what we have. Okay, so Capricorn. I think that there's going to be a huge fight for people getting back to work, getting back to the grind. Me personally, I really am not interested in that. And it says the energy around you is serious, materialistic, hardworking. It bestows shrewdness and cautious ambition. And I really think that, you know, that's the message that we're going to be hearing when really we're moving away from that. Let's not get back into that old grind. You know, if we've learned anything over the last year, it's to have more balance between the work and the home. Interesting. 10th house. So that is ruled by Capricorn, and it is about our career and our success and how we're viewed in the world. It's our achievements and our status in the outside world. That's the underlying issue with this. It's like, and I think it's interesting too that it's on top of this value card, because titles and status and achievements truly mean absolutely nothing. In the grander scheme of everything, might feed your ego, but we have to stop equating who we are as humans with what we do. You know, I don't know. That'll be a topic for another time. So what's also leaving? Okay, so this is interesting because, so we have the Virgo I analyze, but now we have the Gemini, both ruled by Mercury. So the information we're getting, the way that we're analyzing our information, that's got to go. Which is saying to me, now I'm thinking about how the North Node is in Gemini. This is telling me it's time for us to know the truth. The truth of what? things that are air related, whether it's communication, airplanes, aircraft, UFOs, media, things in the media, things in magazines, like things in social media, all the information that we're fed, you know, we're only told what they want us to know. This says the energy is communicative, mischievous, lively, witty, informative, stimulating exchange. All right, so I think there are going to be a lot of changes to the way that we get information and how we're getting it. And we have to really be discerning of what is the truth. And then the final card to go on top of this Mercury, it's the 11th house, where the cosmos grants wishes, luck, friends, and social occasions. And this is also where all of our friends live. This is where the people in the outside world live in our lives, but our dreams and wishes and hopes are here. This is also where social media is. So I think there's going to be a big highlight on media, social media, communications, the way that we're working. Also, too, thinking about this Capricorn in the 10th house. I don't think a lot of us are going to, you know, have been working from home all year. I don't think we're really going to be going back to offices like we used to, and that will bring up, interesting, with the second house, it'll bring up the notion of all the buildings throughout the world that are sitting vacant because of this pandemic. Like, what are we doing with this real estate? Real estate is part of that second house. So that's my prediction for that. Now let's take a look at the chart for the for the week. All right, and I'm hoping the screen that I share is the chart. There it is. Okay, great. I'm going to move me over to here so that I can see what I'm doing. This is new software that I purchased a few months ago, and I'm still learning how to use it. It is Solar Fire. It's an interactive software that's used by most astrologers, and I'm so happy that I was able to make this investment. But there's a learning curve because it does do so much. I kind of miss my old software, but I'm trying to stay away from it and just stick with this. So here we are on March 20th. Sun is at 0 degrees of Aries. There we go. And Venus is getting ready to move into Aries. What do we have going on? Obviously, we have the opposition between the Earth and the Sun. No big. I told you I'm not reading Vulcan yet. So I'm going to look for, we have the moon trining Jupiter. That's lovely. However, moon squaring Neptune. So where's the moon? Right here in Gemini, squaring. So that's 3 signs away. 1, 2, 3. Jupiter right there. And in Aquarius. So here's a symbol of what I just read in the cards, even, you know, that we're squaring off with the air signs, trying to figure out what the communications are. This is also travel and short trips. There is emotion cropping up about the increase in air travel. There's emotion with the stories we're hearing in the news, so that makes sense. Moons, though, are short transits. So what else do we have going on? We have Mars squaring Pluto, so the end is coming and for something, but Mars is also trining Saturn. So where are you, Mars? I believe you're over here in Gemini. So here, and this is more Gemini information. So we've got Mars in the North Node, and they're talking to Saturn. Mars is saying some pretty nasty things to Saturn, like, you know what, you got to change your old ways. You need to lighten up. You need to come into the 21st century, Saturn, because like we're not doing things the way that you used to. You're going to have to change. And also Mars talking to Pluto saying, okay, are you going to put an end to this shit? Like, come on, get out of Capricorn, get out of these old ways, religiously, politically, corporately. And so Mars is kind of having a little bit of an argument with the old players in the system and trying to get them to move into a new vision, a new world, which would be Aquarius. Pluto's going to take a little while to get there. Saturn will be here for 2.5 years because he's a little slow to change, but he will come around. He will come around. Let's advance this by a day. We'll see. Oh, I think I went too many days. Oh, no. Yeah, I did. So, trying to move. Oh, you know what? This is okay. I don't know why it's skipping over. We will see this opposition between the Earth and Sun because the Earth is always on the opposite side of the Sun. So anything really standing out, a lot of conjunctions, a lot of beautiful energy coming through, harmonizing. We will have a little bit of little issues with the moon squaring Chiron up here. Chiron is in Aries, it's fiery, it's ego, and the moon is in her home sign come March 22nd, and just wanting things to be nice and calm. And Chiron is really putting in our faces those issues that we need to deal with. And this Cancer moon is saying, I don't want to deal with it now. The moon will then be opposing Pluto. The moon's like, I know we need to change some things, like come and see this other side. So the moon in Cancer is talking to Pluto in Capricorn, and the moon is trying to convince Pluto in Capricorn to come to the side of the light, to come to the softer side. What else do we have that I can see? Mars still squaring Pluto down here. Jupiter making some beautiful aspects to the asteroids, but I'm going to skip that. A lot of these are asteroids that I read. Maybe I'm missing something, but I think that this is fairly, it's going to be an up and down week, mostly. Then when that moon moves into Leo on March 24th, which is Wednesday, we're still, now the moon is talking to Saturn. The moon had the conversation the previous days with Pluto. Now the moon is negotiating with Saturn, kind of, okay, you know what? I'm not so nice, and I'm going to be right in your face. Let's make some changes. Let's change things up. We also have the North Node right on that, squaring that midheaven. We're trying to figure out, like, what is true? What do I want to go? What do I want to do? What is my direction? I don't know. Yeah, so I just think that this is going to be really an up and down week for us. Then we have Thursday. Mars is opposing the South Node. So Mars is now saying, look, it's time to shed our skin. It's the beginning of the season, whether it's spring or autumn. Shed the skin, get rid of what no longer serves. Time to clean house, get rid of all your clutter. And it's clutter of body, mind, spirit, and physical clutter. So that's that conversation. Also, Mars and Gemini right next to that North Node. They're conjuncting. They're right next to each other. I want to point out, right on top of my Sun and my personal North Node. So let's see how feisty I am this week. But Mars is having a conversation, advocate for the North Node, saying, look, we're looking for the truth, and this South Node in Sagittarius is just talking about righteousness and virtue and morals, and people are being freaking ridiculous. I just keep picking up judgment and righteousness, overly righteous, virtue signaling. And I'm tired of seeing that on social media, to be honest, but this is on the way out. So, you know, we will only be putting up with this for another year. But still, it's going to be long drawn out. It's like between kindness and truth and good information versus like this religious righteousness and judging other people for doing what they're doing or being who they're being. Like, stay in your own lane, stay in your own lane, start pointing towards something new. That's what I'm picking up. Also, too, we have them squaring Pallas. So that could be, you know, an uprising. I feel like that could be an uprising, people standing up for themselves. Also, the square with Mercury, it's information coming out. So let's pay attention to what happens on Wednesday the 24th and through Friday the 26th. We could be hearing some uprising or information coming out in the news that's a little surprising and shocking. So just by looking at this chart, and then we'll go one more day. That's next weekend. We have more opposition. So now the moon is having conversations with Mercury. What information are you putting out? Now, mind you, moon is in Virgo. Mercury rules Virgo and Gemini, so that's what came up of. You know, the moon is tricky and secrets are held. Secrets are underground is what I'm picking up psychically. And Mercury in Pisces, that is secrets. So I don't know, maybe something comes out in the news, or this is just saying like there are secrets that are being held that we don't even know what's really going on. And then I want to advance to, why is this jumping 2 days? I want to advance to full moon in Libra on March 28th. It will be, let's see, well, the sun is in 8 degrees, so I am assuming that this will be at 8 degrees. Let's take a look at the calendar. Doesn't say. It's at 1:22 a.m. 1:22 a.m. and this is 11:05 a.m. So I would have to be going back like 1:22 a.m. Oh, went too far. How fantastic is this? Minutes that I can advance. Can you see how that's moving? I love it. I couldn't do that before with my other software. So here we have the sun at 7 degrees, moon. Well, that's not lining up for me. Huh. I don't know. Something must be off. It says full moon in moon in Libra. Oh, the full moon is at 2:48 p.m. Oh my goodness. So let's just go to the 48. Yeah, because I thought it would be at 8 degrees. And now I have to go move that to 2:48 p.m. And that's Eastern Standard Time. You'll have to adjust for your area. Oh, come on. There we go. 2:48 p.m. So now it should line up. 8 degrees, 18 seconds with the moon, 8 degrees, 19 seconds. So I'll go back. Oh, I'm going to go back a couple seconds. There we go. Yep, now they're lined up. So you can see, this is how I'm reading the chart, showing all of you. We have the sun at 18 degrees, 8 seconds, and we have the moon and the earth at 8 degrees, 18 seconds. All right, so third house, ninth house. Third house, ha, ha, ha. Can't make this up. I'm doing this live. I'm recording this live. Cannot make this up. Third house, that was our highlight card for this coming year. It's going to be about justice, balance, fairness, communications, education, technology. But you got to remember, sun is in Aries. That's about the ego. It's about I'm the one that's important. It's all about me. That's one of our problems. It's all about me. It's all about the way I think. It's all about, what I think is right. So that's the standoff between including everybody in our world, relationships, fairness, beauty, justice, love, and the self. So 8 degrees is we have to decide what it is it's going to be. Is it going to be all selfishness, or are we going to be more inclusive? We do have the moon squaring Jupiter, so there's like a fight between what is emotionally right and what Jupiter wants to make bigger. So there's going to be something big expanding in our faces. See, I'm trying to get past these asteroids. Mercury will be squaring Mars. So I think volatile speeches, volatile information. There could be some slander. We also have Venus also having a conversation with Jupiter. It's like, let's make the love bigger. But Venus is in Aries, so also at 8 degrees, conjuncting all of this. So is Chiron. It's the wounds of the self. It's self-love, self-righteousness, also healing of the heart. It's a lot of that I am energy versus energy, softer, balance, justice of the collective. We also have the North Node, obviously, having a conversation with the South Node. They're squaring it off for the next year. Just trying to see. I think that's pretty much it. Uranus, well, Uranus is squaring. Uranus and Neptune are squaring Juno. Juno is, known as that bitter wife of Jupiter, the woman scorned. I see a lot of that in the world. And so we could be also talking about some women's issues that are coming up in the media, that woman scorned. Now, when I do my Juno project, I'm going to dispel some of her myths. So, she was considered the bitter wife, the woman scorned, because Jupiter was running around with everybody at Mount Olympus, wasn't being true to her, and she was hurt. I'll talk about that in another video. So to wrap this up, thank you for watching today. I'm hoping to get my Palace project out sometime this coming week. And once I do get that out, I will be taking my break to prepare for my daughter's wedding. I will put out a video for the full moon. This is kind of going to make up for that. But I'm not going to be completely absent. I just need, I need a lot of time. I got to get this house together. We have people coming from all over, and I got to spend all of my free time doing all of this. So happy Equinox, happy Ostera, happy International Astrologers Day, happy birthday, Aries. If I forgot anything, first day of spring, first day of autumn, be sure to subscribe, check out my other videos, and stay tuned for my Palace project where I will analyze the charts of many of you viewers that volunteered, and I'm going to show you how to find Palace in your chart. And I'll also explain that when you do, you'll be able to see what does this mean for me, because she's going to be there for nearly 2 years between retrogrades and stationaries. So she's really bringing that warrior power to Pisces energy, and it's all about telepathy. There are no words. This is all mental power for these next 2 years. And I think that the cards that I pulled for this year are perfect for all of that. Let me know what you think about this video and the reading that I did. And I'll see you all soon. Bye.